all the years that have come to pass, and all the years that shall be, I see here, right before me. Fantastic. More Crash Test Dummies all week long. My name is Curtis. Morning, everybody. It's another week, another morning, another day, another time to adjust this hoodie. It just won't stay. But today, I've got 2 pages of notes. I could easily flip to one or flip to the other. I think next episode I will save full blown. Just let's just talk about the Crash Test Dummies for way too long, and it'll be fun. It'll be fun, and I'll make it interesting. I feel like the song will already they'll be interesting, and then I'll ruin it. But that'll be fun for everyone. And today I'll stick with this side of the page and talk about it's something I don't even know how to say. Like, I don't even know how to say because it's one of these weird words that I think might be offensive, but I've just have never really heard it. Occasionally people will say Aspergers, because there's like a P in there, and other people just say Aspergers, and nobody seems to be super upset by either, but I'm pretty sure you're not supposed to say Aspergers or obsess over your collar in the camera mirror, Motron. That connects us, that binds us, intertwines us. Already off the rails. Wonderful. So, let's talk about autism and Asperger's and how those things are totally Asperger's. Aspergers. Aspergers! Exclamation point. I got too excited to make the exclamation point not word, gesture, that I forgot to finish with the proper letters. But that's okay, because sometimes you just get ahead of yourself, and it's just excitement, and that's not a bad thing. Like, it's not a bad thing. Sometimes it's okay to be excited about what you're doing, what you're saying, and what's going on. I tell this story all the time, but this one time, that's what this one was for, but I talked over it. I went home, and it's like a 6 to 7 hour drive, depending on how slow I drive. And usually, depending on how slow I drive, it's like 9 or 10 hours if there's any kind of weather, because I'm just gonna, err on the side of safety. So doesn't matter. Star Wars wipe, and I got home after being in the car by myself forever, and just singing along with whatever's on, or making up my own stuff in spite of whatever was playing, or listening to podcasts and other people telling stories and just getting lost in their adventures and words, and just enjoying that. Like, normally when I listen to a podcast, I just think I should do more of that. Like, shouldn't I just do more of that? Like, what's stopping me other than time? There's only so many pieces of it in a day that you can ingest, and then other times you just gotta sleep or work or whatever. Be nice to a dog and take him for a walk or entertain him or whatever. Interact with other people in the world, etc. And I don't know. So I get home. I'll talk about this later, but I get home and I just start telling my mom, like, basically, I don't know, probably the last 3 days of my life, or maybe even the last few hours, and I just talk the way I do, the way I'm doing now, in a fairly nonstop manner, where if there is a slight pause, it's just like, don't worry, I just need to get a little more breath to process the rest of the information that just wants to ooze out and infect everybody with its unnecessary existence. Because it is just like, oh, I saw this guy do that, and this happened, and blah, blah, blah. Like, doesn't matter. Usually doesn't matter. And at a certain point, my mom was like, okay. It's not, it's not that I don't like talking to you, but you have to slow down or stop for a minute. I need a break. Like, you were saying so many things and so fast that I'm, uh, you know, I'm genuinely out of breath for you. So just take a breath and just relax for a minute. Like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. If I stop for a minute and think about all the things that just came out of my face in what was probably 20 minutes worth of talking that I crammed into maybe 10, um, very overwhelming. Just thinking about how when I'm at work and one of the tech guys is talking to another one of the tech guys, or the guy who's like, hey, we got to figure out this thing in this game, and okay, well then what if we do this? And then at a certain point I'm just like, oh wait, I'm gonna raise my hand like a 5-year-old, because what are we talking about right now? um what are we talking about right now? Like, I've been here the whole time, and my mind can wander, but I've been really, really focusing on what we're talking about and trying to picture it in terms of the game, or in terms of, I don't know, the studio, or parking. I don't know, like, what are we saying right now? And then usually they're like, oh, that's the ARPDAO, like that's the active daily users, and then how they interact with this, and then it's like, oh, okay, cool, yeah, we use a lot of letters for a lot of things that I've never heard of the other thing before, let alone the letter version. Sounds important and confusing. Do I need to draw a picture of it? Just tell me, do I need to draw a picture of it, I guess? And then how much of that do I need to understand to draw that picture? And usually it's all of it, because then I'm like, what? Didn't I? You can upgrade it? Oh, okay, well then here's an upgrade button then, and here's a window for that. And how about running out of screen space here, guys? This game's getting real big real fast. Is this what you expected there to be? Like, because I expected, like, nothing, just tapping and then the bad guys, and then yay, we got them. We got the bad guys. No, it's not complicated enough. We need upgrades. Okay, we need costumes. All right, I totally agree with costumes. We need more weapons. All right, more weapons, and we're gonna need some furniture. Yes, I also agree with that. A game needs furniture so you can decorate your area, or else what kind of game is it? I don't know. I don't know what games are anymore. I'm just gonna say that I've never played Minecraft, but I'm terrified of its existence, because it's like, it's just Legos, right? Like, it's just infinite Legos that you kind of have to dig for and punch trees or sheep for or something. Sounds fantastic, but at the same time, it's like, oh, what if I was, set down with infinite Legos when I was 9? I'd still be wherever that is. I mean, I know where that is. It's my mom's living room. I'd still be there going, infinite Legos. What do you want? What? I'm supposed to go to college, get a job, learn something about the world? I can't. I don't know. And now, I don't know. Again, maybe this is just how my brain works. Everything to me is infinite Legos. So, listening to podcasts, I'm like, I gotta go do that. Watch any kind of music video. I have to make one of those. See some Legos. I gotta go play with some Legos. And I don't have time to live out infinite anything in a video game. Like, I saw the book that kind of goes with Fallout 4, and wow, that's clearly a whole lifetime you gotta live in there. Hey, come live in Fallout. It's a video game, but you better get a job inside Fallout. I don't know, because this is where you're gonna be from now on. Like, this is where you're gonna be. It's all the time in the world. I played World of Warcraft, for, I want to say, a month, maybe it was 2, and I was so bored, but there was just infinite amounts of things to do that are like, I don't have time to do any of these. I have to walk. Like, I gotta walk on this mission. That alone takes 40 minutes of me sitting there, holding the up arrow going, are you kidding? I'm paying for this? I'm paying money for this. This is how much a month? I mean, this is, no. I gotta put a stop to this. This is me playing a game. I haven't moved my hand. I'm getting a cramp at my whole hand and wrist from just walking through the woods. I guess I could veer off and fight some boars or something, but that's a real bore. Pun intended. fake Warcraft walking is honestly more exciting than really Warcraft walking. And no offense to anybody who's still playing Warcraft. Like, again, like I said, it is infinite and huge, and if you have the patience and time, that's amazing. I've met people that are like, I strive to be a certain smith of some kind or miner in the Warcraft world so that people, talk about me as the guy in the place that doesn't exist. But I don't know. Maybe I'm the guy in this place that doesn't exist. I don't know how the Matrix works. I don't know. Maybe it doesn't work at all. Maybe we're all real. Ooh, that doesn't make any sense. That couldn't possibly being real makes way less sense than this all being imaginary computer land. I mean, honestly. Um, but yeah, I alluded for a second to whatever's down here. Mostly it's one me trying to find where the mouse went when I let go because oh no, I'm talking with my hands again. There's no mouse in it. And in order to switch cameras, I gotta find that mouse. And I don't really have this area down here memorized, and also my knees are right here, my feet are right here, not on the floor, and it's nuts. It's bananas times 10. So, when I'm looking down at these notes that I claimed fell on the floor last episode, so then I don't know what I'm talking about. There's literally like a handful of words on here, so it's not even, oh, that's the Bible for what I'm going to say. It's just a handful of things. Like for example, this one mostly says my autistic Aspergers are Aspergers, and then let's go from there, right? So far, we've pretty much almost made it to cartoon time, and I haven't even used any of my notes yet. I don't know what's wrong with me. But one time I was at this let's call it a group therapy thing, because that's what it was, like a group anxiety class. I don't know. But there was a handful of us, and we had like worksheets to fill out when we went home at night, and pie graphs to fill in with like how much of our emotion do we feel of this thing. Like this is pretty good, getting a kind of visual and everything. It's not too bad. Feels fairly kindergarten-y, but I recognize that, so I'm not crazy. After a handful of days, I of course talk too much, regardless of what the situation. And one lady was like, "You really remind me of my son." Like, okay, cool. That's usually not an insult in any way. Yeah. Do you, like, I don't know if this is rude. Like, I hate to, like, I don't mean this as an insult or anything. I'm genuinely curious and concerned. Do you have Aspergers? What? What? Who? What? That's a question you could ask somebody in the world, or be asked. At least I guarantee if I asked somebody, I'd be apologizing on Facebook for that for weeks, because that's how things work. And I also know that I'm leaning away from the microphone when I go to that camera, and I have to stop doing that because I'm very aware of all of my surroundings. The lady said, "Yeah, you remind me a lot of like just how you act, how you talk, how you control the topics about which you're speaking, and then kind of drift around, and then for some reason reconnect them when they do not need to be connected." Like, yeah, what? Like, I'm gonna tell you, like, I really still don't even know what Asperger's is right now. I've heard this word very few times, and it doesn't usually come with a whole lot of explanation. But okay, so your son is, yeah, so like, I mean, not that, I'm not saying this seems like there's anything wrong with you. I'm just saying you remind me of him. Also, he's 6, and wait, what? So not only do I remind you of a 6-year-old, I remind you of a 6-year-old with, I'm going to say, moderate to severe Asperger's, because if it's very light and no big deal-ish, you don't bring it up. It's just not a thing that's on your mind. So clearly it's at a level where it's like, this is something to be concerned about, and maybe I should be concerned about this young man as well. Either way, even if I don't, I still remind you of a 6-year-old. So like when I'm I see it now, telling some sort of story or trying to get real philosophical, and I don't know what I think is helpful within this session, because it's like, hey, what do you guys think? Somebody say something, and nobody will say anything, and like, "Meow, guess who's here? I got all kinds of things to say. You see, pew 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 pew. I'm gonna get you, Spider-Man. I'm gonna get you, Skeletor. Pow 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 pow. And obviously, that's what you see. Because what are my hands even doing? What are they even doing? Saluting with the wrong. I can't even. You know what it's time for? Let's get out of this for 2 seconds, and then we'll go back to this madness. Cartoon time. I'm sticking with the lever. I'm sticking with the sound, and fun is definitely abound. And we're back. So, anyway, I started going a little crazy. And, like I said, the lady presented this information to me. Are you blank? And really, before I could say, no, I'm just me. You know? I'm just not finished with my masterpiece, alright? The Lady Gaga song. Girls just want to have fun? I am what I am. I'm Popeye the Sailor Man. I have no idea. I was born this way. I was born this way. And it was too late, because I'm just like, well, let me tell you something, lady, that I literally shared maybe a few words with up until this point. You're not the first person to ask me this question, and the other two were, like, people who might be the person you go to before you get diagnosed for something like that. And they asked, hey, with your, again, Beastie Boys hand movements, I don't know why, have you ever been, like, checked out for autism or Aspergers? And, like, you can get, like, how do you get checked out for that? I thought that was a thing when you're born. It's like, oh my god, obviously. He's got it. Let's put needles in him or whatever we do. Electrocute the people. That's how you fix things and save lives. But again, at this point I don't know anything about anything. It's just like, so is there something wrong with me? There's a dog moving around down here if anybody's wondering why there's weird, strange animal noises. And yeah, so she's like, oh no, it's not what you think. It's not what you think. Like, tell me what I think, because you're breaking my brain. And it's, like, oh no, usually just means that you kind of think more about things and you just need a little more time, or, you think harder, overthink. And, if you also have anxiety, though, then you're going to probably overthink about, like, negative things and the most awkward of situation when it might just be normal time McGee and there's no reason to get upset and blah, 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 bling, 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 blah. You could take medication, but sometimes it turns you into a lazy nothing, and then you don't do anything. And I tried the medication, and I was like, you know what? Everything is awesome. Everything is cool when you're sitting around doing nothing and saying everything is awesome. Look at that. Awesome. That's cool. No need to worry or do anything in life. It's awesome. Hey, we noticed you haven't done anything. Not going to, ever. Everything's fine the way it is. Yeah. Does that seem weird to you? Totally does. Better stop taking these pills before my head explodes. And then I did. And now I do things again. And that was a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. Not really. Like 10 minutes away. Didn't move that far. And now I'm here in the woods, trying to get prepared to move again. I don't know where. I don't know really how. But it's going to happen. And I guess Next episode, I swear, is going to be about things. This episode is just more about morning, everybody. Me. Um, in that, reality shows exist, and they do fine, and those things are about nothing. Like less than Seinfeld, nothing. I mean, at a level of, hey, I'm gonna go buy a purse. All right, then we're gonna follow you with cameras, and that's the show. Maybe you'll get upset about something, and then it will be the biggest thing in the world. When you're right, you're right. All right, you were right. That's fine. Well, I'm not gonna go purse shopping, and I'm not gonna be a crazy rich lady. But if you are a crazy rich lady, I'll come move into your house and do this show from here. That's awesome. So, I don't know. Put a comment down below. There we go. That should get this going. One of these days, I'll read the comments, if there's any. And yeah, it's becoming this. It is the documentary of me. And I don't know, maybe that's sad, maybe that's weird, but the more I want to do these things and the more excited I get and start to make notes, the more I start to doubt myself and the more anxiety creeps in and says, you can't do this. This camera isn't good enough. This camera isn't good enough. And these microphones should be better, and there should be like TV makeup and I don't know, more professional lights, and this dog shouldn't be licking himself while you're recording. There's all of them, just these things where it's like you should just revision, just change it and fix it. Because I do come from the world of making cartoons for television, and those are just never good enough and never done. And regardless, at some point it's like, well, it's done, put it on TV, and nobody almost ever says, hey, look, we got more notes for you. And like, no, we watched it, it's done, we'll watch another thing tomorrow. And that's what's great about this, is I do it, and then I'll just do another one tomorrow, or the next day, or maybe 5 minutes from now. Either way, I don't have to sit and be like, I better spend a month fixing this when I don't know what's wrong with it. Well, it's weird. Well, what was the whole point of it? Just to say some stuff and try not to feel weird about being weird, because I'm just weird, and that's just the way it is, and I don't know where else to do it. It seems like this YouTube place is meant for that. Like it's either here or Portland, and that's way over on the other side of the country. I think I'm terrible at geography. I'm almost like 9,000% positive it's on the other side of the country, but there's still like a negative 45% chance that it's right over there. It's just on the other side of Newfoundland, and I had no idea this whole time. It's really terrible at geography. Like I said, I don't know. I think my geography teacher was also the art teacher at one point, and pretty sure he was terrible at both. Life is weird. It's crazy, and things don't make sense. Anyway, back to where I was first pointing down many minutes ago. When, I don't know, when the audience, whoever they may be, looks at me, did they think, hey, look at that guy. That's one of them autistic Aspergers guys that does videos, right? Or did they just see, hey, there's a regular nerd who's just making videos? I don't know. I don't know what that is. I do know that sometimes when I'm looking back at the video to make sure everything's there, I notice I'm just like looking down, and half the time it is like just trying to find the mouse, like I said. But other times it looks like, oh, I'm looking at notes, but I'm like, nope. I just don't want to. I genuinely do not, even though I've set up 2 cameras to look at, and I'm cutting to them both inappropriately because, like I said, sometimes I gotta look down more than not sometimes, and it feels good sometimes to not be seen, and I'm just like, I'm just gonna stay here for a second and keep talking. I'm not looking at any notes, I'm not reading anything, but whatever I'm saying feels okay, and I think that looking up and realizing, oh yes, I'm part of the world, will destroy the magic and majesty that is the things that you think of when nobody else is around to tell you, no, that's not right, or isn't that too weird? Let's be a little less weird today. shouldn't. Should I? All right, I'll end it with this. There's a few seconds left, a few minutes, and I don't know. There was a time I went for, let's say, a little medical procedure. I met with the doctor beforehand, and he told me a bunch of nonsense and scary things, and it's just like, well, this is awful. I don't want to know this part. This is insane. Just go do it. Just do it. I trust you, and everything before this seemed to make sense. But okay, awesome. Tell me scary things. In that process, I managed to tell this doctor a good 20 to 45 minutes worth of stories about all kinds of things that may or may had anything and nothing to do with the medical procedure, life in general, and all kinds of things. And he was like, "What is happening right now?" I'm like, "Oh, sorry, that's a thing that I do. Sometimes just kind of something comes up and I'll just keep going." During the medical procedure, I'm awake and he's trying to keep my mind off stuff being cut open and sewn back together and into a, you know, bionic commando. And he tells the nurses, "Oh, hey, keep his mind off things. But here's a fun fact. This guy here, give him any topic at all, and he can talk about that for a half hour, no problem. Anything, just give him like one word. Like, that's not what I said at all. That is not what I said at all. I said that I'm sorry. Sometimes I kind of like just start going from one little note or title in my notebook that should have all kinds of notes, and then it ends up being for 20 to 30 minutes. I don't remember being super specific about the time, but now you're promising these people some sort of show while I'm kind of preoccupied with how much I don't think any of you are professional medical people that are working on me right now, and I want to go home. And that's pretty much me in a nutshell. I don't know. I don't know if that's Asperger's. I don't know if that's autism. Like I said, going to a professional person that tells you about things like that, this is the level at which they are in life, I guess. I don't know. Sometimes my hand is telling a different story than me, and see you later. Oh, there's that one. She basically said, you don't seem to be having trouble. You're not like, oh, I'm completely hiding from the world and I'm autistic and the slightest noise sends me into a rage. But yeah, I am pretty sensitive to noises, I think. And when I watch documentaries about autism and Asperger's, I think, doesn't everybody think like this? This seems like the logical way. This guy's being just logical about things. What's normal? And blah, 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 blah. She sent me away feeling like, if you are on the spectrum or scale or in the pie chart, you're in the good, productive, high functioning, like these Steve Jobsian type of people that are like, yeah, that guy's a maniac. Yeah, he can't hold a relationship together or talk to his friends at times that are more than once every year or half a year, because they're busy. Like they're obsessed. They're a little bit crazy, but they're functioning. They're doing the things, and they're still associating with other people and doing the things. And it's like, well, I go to work, I talk to people, I do all that stuff. But yeah, sometimes I gotta go. Like, sorry guys, I gotta go. I can do the same work from home, so I'm gonna go do that there. No offense to everybody, but suddenly it feels like there's way too many people here, and I gotta go. All right, goodbye. But I'm still functioning. I'm still fine, right? Still doing things. And once again, the show falls off the rails, and I feel like, am I? It's okay. The whole point of the be good, be careful, and then have a good morning is if everybody's out there being good and being careful, then the nervous people like me don't have to be as nervous because they're like, everyone, oh, it's cool now. No, it's cool. Those guys that normally like juggle knives and throw fireballs for whatever reason, no carnival needed. They're just being good and careful today. So yeah, go wherever you gotta go. Don't be afraid that somebody's gonna stab you on the bus or drag you out of your car at an intersection because everything's getting a little more purgy feeling the more that Donald Trump becomes more real in this existence. I wish that's it. I just wish everybody would just be a little less stabby and a little more rock and roll. Seriously though. But seriously though. Seriously. Be good and be careful. And morning everybody.
Hey, click on my butt or Ripley's butt to subscribe. Click on my butt. Click on my butt. Click on my butt.